This looks promising, except I don't know if it's going to use the right link that I gave Alyssa.
I did want to let you know that due to my job month-end close, I haven't had a chance to log into everything yet.
Oh, that is not a problem. I sent you all the information because I was like, I'm doing it now. So it is. I've done it. Put it off long enough. So that's not a problem. And I need to get on the other website that you told me about to look at what that login is too. So we're good. Clearly not in too big of a hurry. We're still going. I sent you all the information because I was like, I'm doing it now. So it is. I've done it. Okay, mute myself here. It's not in the right link. I think I'm usually pretty good at technology, but I tried to be in like our office area, so I wasn't like in my basement. That was the wrong idea because like, nothing worked. My keyboard needed new batteries. I'm like, sure, put new batteries in, and it won't even turn on now. It's a lot. So bear with me for a minute. I want to make sure.
I understand it. I opted for my kitchen table instead of my office.
I don't know why I tried. Like I was like, I'm going to be fancy. And I don't know how YouTubers do it because I would be a terrible YouTuber because just. Oh gosh. Oh.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Could you hear me before?
I could.
Okay. I'm sorry. I had on my AirPods like died in the middle and I didn't know what was happening.
You're much louder now though. Yes.
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, next time I'll maybe figure this out beforehand. So I'm just going to let both of these go live stream to YouTube. YouTube's going to be like, what is she doing? And on the one that everyone sees, they will basically see, okay, apparently nothing because it's not showing a video. Oh boy. Okay. Well, there's no video, but I think people can hear me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take I assume this would be thing. And anyone watching on this live stream here, where there's no video, but you can hear me. I can see the thing going up. So hopefully you can hear me. I put the link to hopefully the actual live in the live chat. So I'm sorry. I was not prepared for that, but we'll have like 8 recordings of this video. So that'll be great to see a lot of me just fumbling around my computer. Okay, 7:02. It's 7:02. Let's give people just a minute or two more. And while that happens, I'll look and see if there's anything else I can see on here quickly. Oh boy. All right, well, I'll be more prepared next time. You know, live and learn. It's a pandemic. I'm barely making it anyway, so. Did you, okay, we have some more people here. I didn't end up putting a waiting room in this Zoom because I honestly don't know anyone's names, so I would let anyone in anyway, so it's just a little bit easier so I don't have to keep letting people in, so people can come and go and whatever they need to do. I think I sent out the agenda to everyone that was on the list on the board, and the financial paperwork. I didn't get that online yet. I did do a few other things, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But we'll go ahead and just call the meeting to order. 7:03 p.m. Write this down. I don't see Miss S yet. I assume she's gonna pop in here at some point. The one big thing that we do need to note is that Nurse Krista is no longer at Cornerstone, so she's no longer on our board. We missed her so much, but Miss S has stepped up and is really helping to do all this stuff. Stepped into big shoes, and she's doing all the dress down day stuff, and I've given her some other things, and she's just rocking it for us. So thank you, Miss S, for all you do with the school anyway, but especially for helping us. It's, especially with the pandemic, we can't do a whole lot, so it's nice to have her on our side. For meeting minutes, we don't really have anything to approve. I don't think we've met since November. No, we didn't meet in November. We met in December. We didn't meet in January because it was right after the stuff at the Capitol. So we kind of wanted to give everyone a little bit of time to reflect on that. And honestly, I thought I would be more caught up from the Christmas break than I was, and I was not. So not much really has gone on with the PTO since then. I'll talk a little bit about what we have done, but there really wasn't too much to mention, so we didn't really miss much of anything. For our treasury report, we have the balances in our checking and savings. It's like our savings account is at $7,212.10. Our secondary savings account is $300.05, I think. So we've made 5 cents on that in almost a year. So that's pretty good. And our checking is at $1,397.75. The extra savings account, and this is sort of so Naya knows too, I'm not sure if I told her this before, but we opened that up because we were holding a lot of funds for other people, athletics, teachers, and things like that, that was outside of the PTO. So we opened that last year when the PTO sort of changed hands, and we were trying to figure out how to really keep track of the money the best. So we ended up opening that account, and we're going to use that to hold some of the other monies that weren't ours. Excuse me, but we ended up not doing that at all. And so it's just still has, we had to open it with $300. So it's $300.05 we earned in we paid out $850 to the Cornerstone Academy Athletic Department. They went ahead and, I'm assuming they got their LLC, they got a bank account and they got things going. So the athletic department, we owed them about $850 from last year. Again, it was their money they earned that they gave to us to hold. And so that was part of us trying to get the money to the people where it goes. Because the problem with being a PTO is if the money goes into our account, the government goes, that's our money. It no longer is your money no matter what. So if we just give you $850, the government goes, what was that for? So, or all the little things that would add up that we would purchase. Or if we purchase something, we need to kind of prove that it's following our bylaws, like how are we helping the students with that? And if we're not helping all the students, or if it's only for this group, that's hard to explain. And so to make all that easier, they got their own account. So we are no longer going to hold money for them. So we owed them $850. We are out of the business of money holding. For dress down day, I want to do a quick year-to-date sort of things that we've earned. We've earned $940 in dress down day, which is pretty good because there's only 12 classrooms, I think. I think we do 12 bags, but there's a couple of classrooms combined. But So that's how those all kind of went out. The move-a-thon, we earned $1,692. Our website, we made $994 on Spiritware. Amazon Smile, we made $44.03. You are welcome. I don't know who else has their Amazon hooked up to it, but my husband asked me how much we provided for the school, so hopefully it was good. Coke rewards, we had $28.01. I have a full bag that I need to put in again, but I did that a couple months ago. But year-to-date total, we've earned $3,698.04, which is pretty good because it's a pandemic. We're not really trying to earn big dollars. We're kind of slow and steady here. So I was pretty pleased about that. The high school, the other money thing we have is the high school did their Spiritware pre-sale that I helped them with. They brought in $1,075. The cost of the shirts, however, were $742, difference of $332. And since I had to sort of overcharge because up to 20 t-shirts was a certain price. And there were 4 different kinds of shirts, and then 20 to 50 shirts, you got a little bit smaller of a price. So depending on how many shirts they ordered, the price kind of went down. So we had to start the pricing at the highest just to make sure that we covered at least the basic costs. So they ended up making an extra $332. So in order to pay that out to them to even out our PTO money and to make it very clear what we were doing, we paid, there were 2 transactions, with $50 transaction because I was testing it, and then $275 in teachers pay teachers gift cards. So those went to the high school teachers. They each got $25 gift card to teachers pay teachers. So that's an example of things that we can do because we're not just giving money, we're giving the teachers pay teachers, and the only thing that they can purchase with that is stuff from that site, which is educational. We do owe them $50 still because there were 2 teachers that said that they don't use teachers pay teachers, and so we told them that we would hold that money till the end of the year. If they bought something and gave us a receipt, we could refund them their $25 each, as long as that was approved. And then our end of semester teacher appreciation, we spent about $237, which nobody was really around last year, but that is phenomenal price for what we did. Tahia was very, very kind and baked till the wee hours of the morning and made jar cakes for each of the teachers. So we paid her for her cake ingredients in her jars. We got some vinyl sticker paper, and I bought the cups. The teachers each got a clear tumbler with a cute little cutout on it. My Cricut, I did with my Cricut. And then we filled it with different drink mixes and things. So it was a nice little treat for the teachers. We also had some leftover PTO things that we had purchased for other things. Like I had purchased some stuff for the book fair we were going to have last year, and it never kind of came through. So there was just like little things for the kids that I knew the teachers could use. So I just put those out too, so the teachers could take. There were some spirit sticks and some other stuff for them to give to the kids as like incentives and things. And I finally did get the binders to the teachers. So the teachers got the binders that we made for the PTO. So I think that's all that there is on the money front. I think as we go forward and as I get this, the other stuff set up for Naya, I really hope that we'll have a little bit more. I mean, this is pretty clear. Like everything on here is, this is the bank statements and whatnot. And on here, I will get this on the website. It's not there yet, but I will. I've annotated a few of the things because if you're just looking at it, you don't really know what it is. So I just annotated when some of the stuff was for the teachers, the end of semester gifts for them. So that's all about money. So for old business, does anyone have any questions about the money? I assume if anyone has a question, you'll just butt in, and that's fine. I don't know why this is. And I don't use Zoom all the time. I'm always like helping my children. So I apologize when I can't seem to do this right, but I digress. For old business, we are continuing our dress down days, doing those about every other week. They're like twice a month. There's one tomorrow. I dropped off the bags for that today, and Miss S will get those out to the teachers and we'll collect those back. The deposits on those have been a little bit slower. So when I get the bags back, I usually let them sit at least a day, sometimes 2 days, just because they're coming from the school. I don't want to have to wipe everything down with alcohol. If there are germs on them, they are somewhat dead by the time we get to them. So some of the time, the deposits aren't quite made in time. I just wanted everyone to know, if you're looking at that and the deposits aren't kind of coinciding with the dress down days, sometimes they just kind of sit there. Also, they close the bank inside at one point, like last month, and I had like 3 rolls of quarters and a bunch of change, and I literally did not know. Like, I didn't know if I should sit in line, if I could if it would go up the tube, or if I would get the thing clogged in the tube. So I was doing night drop, and I hadn't done that yet, and I had to find the key from Krista because we didn't know what the key was for a while. So I've been doing those in night drops, also because it's easier. The bank doesn't have to do it at a specific time. It just pops up in our account. I just think it's a lot easier that way. Same for when we get checks. I usually deposit on my phone, just less interaction with different people there, but wanted to point that out in case anyone had a question about that. I am still working on paperwork. In the grand scheme of things, I really would like there to be a home, maybe on our website or elsewhere too. Right now, we don't really have paperwork. So like Naya came in, and I don't really have, I would love it for there to be like a binder or something that we can hand to whoever. You're the treasurer. This is the treasurer binder. These are the things you need to know. These are the things that we do. We don't really have that. And I think that would be like a really, really good thing to have, because there's turnover every 2 years. And with all the new people, instead of having to like fumble through all that, I'd like each position to have that kind of thing. So now I finally got the teacher's binders out of the way. I'm going to be working on that soon. So there's a little bit of new business. The Move-a-thon gifts, I packaged those up, and those also went to the school today with the dress down day bags. The Move-a-thon gifts, they were mostly small, like they were free homework pass, a free dress down day, couple magnets, couple small things, a lot of spirit sticks actually, which was cool. So those were all packaged up. There were 3 that did not get out yet. And they were 3 students who had bigger sales. So there were bigger things on there, t-shirts and things like that. There were a few students that got t-shirts that I sort of guessed. Kindergarten, it's kind of easy to usually small-ish, maybe a medium t-shirt, but small. Anyone that, if I guessed on that because I didn't get the information back and that's wrong, send us an email. We can exchange that out. That's fine. I just wanted to get everything out as soon as I could because it's been a while. So just wanted to get those out sooner than later. But again, there are three students who did not get theirs yet. And I've reached out to their teachers so they know, so I can get the sizes and things like that I need from them. February is American Heart Month. So as we planned before with Nurse Krista, she had been trying to raise money for an AED for a very long time. AED is just a what does it stand for? I don't remember what it stands for. But it's if there's somebody has an episode with their heart, it's like a really smart machine. You kind of hook it up, it listens for the heartbeat. And if it needs to send a shock, it does like all this for you. I remember using it in my first aid class when I took that years ago, but we don't have one in our school. And it's important because the minutes that pass in between a cardiac event and getting help, that leads to the outcomes, less time, better outcomes. And it can happen to kids. It can happen. We have staff members that might have heart issues. So Krista was very, very passionate about getting this AED. And I think that we should carry that on. And we had planned to do this. So when we got our t-shirts printed in the summer, the company had misprinted them. And by misprinted, they just printed a color wrong. I sent them the color. They chose one that was close, but it was not. So they're actually very beautiful shirts that we loved a lot, but I didn't know what to do with them. So we are going to sell those shirts. I should have brought one to show y'all, but I didn't because I'm not in the basement. If I was there, I could have grabbed one for you. But it's like a turquoise color. It's like the regular shirts that we have now, Spirit Wear, but it's a turquoise color. So we're going to sell those $10 a piece, and all the money is going to go toward an AED for the school. The AEDs are on the low end about $1,000. That's like the very low end. So that means we have to sell 100 shirts. So that would be great. We have 200 shirts, I think. So if we ended up selling more, we would look into maybe 2 AEDs, one for the school itself, one for athletics, like going places. I know sometimes that they have to carry them. Or if we make just a little bit more, the money would be reabsorbed into the Cornerstone PTO. But hopefully we can sell enough to get an AED, because I know Nurse Krista is very passionate about that, and we really wanted to help her with that. So we're going to carry that on. And since February is Heart Month, I thought it was the perfect time to do that. The website has been updated with the information for that, but those are not on the website yet. And I'm going to do that very soon. The only reason I didn't is because I did give Krista a shirt and I gave Mr. Leon a shirt. And so there are a few shirts that are missing. So I want to make sure that I have the correct numbers. So I don't put the numbers in the website and then we don't have the sizes that people need. So I just want to make sure about that. But those will be on very, very soon, by the beginning of next week at the latest. But I'm hoping like tomorrow. And then the last part is in March 9th through 12th, we have another Scholastic Book Fair. We had a book fair in November. It was basically directly after our move-a-thon. And we announced it was all online, and we sort of announced it, but we had talked about maybe like doing it in person, but after the move-a-thon, we spent a lot of energy on that. There wasn't a lot of return on that energy. There's just not a lot of participation. So the book fair, we just sort of, it went online, and I don't even know if we made any money. I should probably look at that, but I don't know that we made money. I'll look at that for next time. So we already had this one planned too, the spring book fair. This one is, again, like I said, March 9th through 12th. That's actually the week after the Read Across America, something like that. And they didn't have, Scholastic usually has a theme. I think that they're trying to feel all this stuff out too. So they don't have a theme. I picked a theme that they already had because they make all of the social media. They have all these coloring pages. They have all this stuff. I picked a theme. It was Paws on Books because it was animals and there were dogs. And so that's what it's going to be for ease of that stuff's already done. And it's cute enough. But the other question is how it will run. And I think if you come to the meeting before, then you can, and yes, Ms. Durkin, I will send out a t-shirt message for everyone. If you've come to the meeting before, you know that Scholastic works in weird ways. So when we do a Scholastic book fair in person, we make 25 to like 40% in Scholastic dollars. I think that's how, something like that. If we choose Scholastic dollars, and that's money that we use only through Scholastic, that's all we can do. If we choose to take cash, we get like 10% back in cash, which is not a very good return on what we do. So we always take the Scholastic dollars. And the reason that we take Scholastic dollars is so we can pay for Scholastic news for the teachers. Scholastic news for the teachers costs about $6,000. And we've always sort of been behind on paying for that. So even though like our last book fair, I think we made about $6,000 in Scholastic dollars, we still owed Scholastic $3,000. So we still have maybe almost $2,500 in Scholastic dollars currently. So also, if you do Scholastic and you do online only, then your percentage is, I think, 15% of online purchases. That's all you get. So I guess what I'm trying to say is doing an online only book fair, it's doable. We won't make as much money, and that will directly affect how we're able to pay for the Scholastic news for the teachers for next year. But I absolutely understand a live book fair is also hard. We've discussed ways that we could do it using one of the mods, having classes come in for 30 minutes, hand sanitizer, all of that good stuff. The classes leave, we sort of air it out, we clean up all the high touch places that we can. And then after the next half hour, the next class could come in. And so doing our part to try to stop any kind of spread. However, I also know that the school is like trying to keep their classes sort of together. So this is where the school comes in. Miss S, I saw you signed on. This is something that, you know, I can't say, like, I don't have my finger on the pulse of the school. So, and I also know that cases are rising. So for me, it's not a money thing. Like, we'll have to deal with what we have to deal with, like how we're doing things. But the book fairs are things that kids really like too, though. So that's the other thing. And they show that when kids pick out their own books, that they're more likely to read, and they're like, it's just much better. And I don't know how other people, but I used to get like super excited about the book fair, right? So those are things that we won't really know. So Miss Sibring,
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, these are really good considerations to make for book fair coming up. And I know the kids are talking about it. They ask about it actually at school as one of the many things that they wonder if it's still going to happen. So I know that it's highly wanted by our students. I'm just wondering, what is their platform, like the way that Scholastic is presenting their online platform for hosting a live virtual book fair? What does that look like?
So during our book fairs, we always have like an online version as well.
Sure.
The same. I think we get 15% of that during our regular book fair as well. We don't usually even push that because our book fairs actually do pretty well because their students like the books, the teachers like the books, and it's sort of that kind of thing. So, they keep the sellers of all these PTO things, man. I know they're hurting too because pandemic, but she's like, let's talk. And I was like, we're going to have a meeting. So I'm going to talk to them and then I can let you know. But they have all these different, like, they've adapted. So like they have like outdoor opportunities, like if you have an outdoor space to do it, or if you have, but I looked at March. So I'm like looking at all this stuff. So I looked at March, like Columbus, Ohio weather. It's not, there's like
Mhm.
one year was 70. And then each year after that was like 50, 40, 30. And I was like, okay, so it's not like because March in Ohio is, it might snow and you might be wearing shorts. You don't know. So I was like, can't really do outside because kids don't really need to be freezing while they're trying to like find a book. But
Quick question.
and I know they're trying to do everything they can inside as well, but I can talk to her too though, because she wants to talk to me and I told her I would talk to her so I can find out the other sort of things. If you can talk to, I don't know, Mr. Leone and just get a feel, just ask around. It doesn't even have to be like, we want to do this. Can we do it? It can just be like a discussion and I'm happy to be part of that too. But I would rather follow the school lead because again, we're here to help you guys. And I definitely don't want to, I said it before, I don't want to be like a part of like a super spreader event, like PTO as a book fair. And then, but if we did it, it would be, I am super cautious. So I just want everyone to know if it were to happen, I owned gallons of hand sanitizer when the whole thing went down. So I was like, hey guys, I'm good. I just always am sort of a germaphobe. So those kind of things, but I'll talk to her.
Yeah, I'm curious, like some of my wonderings just fall more in the direction of something that students and their families with their families during the day can log into as kind of a live event or can go to as a class. And of course, then have parents on standby with wallets or whatever they need for purchases, but just different avenues of
option that they have. And I'll look more into that.
Cool.
And let you know that too. Okay.
I actually have a quick question about it too. If you do it in person, is that something that can also be done online at the same time?
Yeah,
because most of our students are home anyway.
Yeah.
And then if we do that, I know kind of like the move-a-thon, but maybe a little more aggressively, can we try to work with the teachers to incentivize getting the books online? I know we're getting less, but
I think that's a great idea. And the fact that it's Read Across America week, the week before, that buy-in is more likely to happen. And I think that a goal of more buy-in is
looking at how, at least my daughter's first grade class, for example, if they have a theme day and then 3 other kids are like, oh yeah, we sat with our parents and bought these books, just the same way as you're in school, there's more pressure, there's more peer pressure to buy because everyone around you is going in and buying something, right? So they did that, or they added like the coloring sheets to I know Miss Wolf has like a fun section. So they have their work they have to turn in. I'm sorry for screaming. The work they have to turn in. And then there's like the coloring sheets and things. So maybe if they release that with the work that they're giving them, my parents as well. Because I think
and there are color. That's the reason I like that Scholastic. That's why I chose one of their pre-existing themes that they did, because they have like coloring sheets and they have like all these little kind of fun activities that can go along with it. And man, guys, last year, if the pandemic hadn't hit, we had such a fun jungle theme planned. It was going to be awesome.
I remember the board. It was.
Heather made it. She nailed that board. I was like,
I was excited.
We were so excited. So we had like all those kind of fun things. So all of those kind of things exist too. And this is not, I don't know how anything I say is not, I'm not trying, never trying to be mean to anyone. I think not too truthful, but I'm just kind of blunt about the honesty of things. So I'm sorry if it comes off the wrong way. I don't mean anything by it. I'm not trying to be snarky about anything. I want to get more teacher buy-in too. And I know in order to do that, if we have incentives for them, yes, that would be great, because who wants to do a bunch of stuff for like not anything extra really, and that's why Scholastic dollars are great, because guess what, we could just give teachers, hey, you can have this many dollars if you, that was what we were kind of planning on last year, like can you volunteer to help at the book fair in the evening? Okay, great. You can have this many scholastic dollars, like $50 in scholastic dollars. That's a good amount of books. That's like worth it. But since we are forever behind on the scholastic news, I feel like we're like robbing Peter to pay Paul. And it's hard to go like, I know that we've always given you scholastic news. We love to do it, but we need help. Like we can't always do all of that. So I think that's great. I would love to give the teachers more things. It's just really hard kind of still sort of digging out kind of from a hole to be able to do that, honestly. Because we have 2,500-ish in scholastic dollars, and I did the math, so it's like 6,000. We were like $3,500 that we still need to earn before the beginning of next year if we're going to be able to afford scholastic news in its entirety. And this year we spent about $700 on it because we had to keep going to be grandfathered in, and some of the classes I don't know if they're using it, but they have access to all of that. So
that was going to be my next question, was maybe surveying like how much use the teachers make of scholastic news.
They loved it. We asked last year.
Okay.
Miss Fast, everyone. There were we asked multiple times, multiple ways.
Okay. See, and that's, yeah, thank you for clarifying, because I was like, something is ringing a bell in my mind about asking the teachers, but what is it? Okay, good.
And in a normal year, it is very doable with an in-person book fair. And if we do 2 book fairs, if we got caught up on paying for scholastic news, like up front, like they say we're supposed to, actually, they gave me an attitude when we were like behind $1,000. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But we could do so much more. We could do so much more. We could give the teachers so much more. But it's sort of trying to earn that money back and then move on. So let me see what their online stuff is. Tahia, that was a great point. And both of you, that was a great point to like make it an online thing. People buy it together. And I will talk to Key. Key is our representative, and she can tell me all the different things too that they can do. And we'll figure it out. Because, I mean, I'm going to be honest here too. I mean, if the incentive for the teachers is enough, like if we can give them something and we lose 400 scholastic dollars, well, what's the difference between $3,500 and almost $4,000? You know, like if we're already behind a little bit, I don't know. This is where Naya's going to come in. She's going to tell me all the numbers. She's going to tell us what to do, because I ain't really the numbers person, but trying to figure that out. So I do want it to be a fun thing though too, because we did miss something in November, not quite like having the same backing behind it. And that was really just the planning. I didn't realize it was going to be like the next week from Move-a-thon, and I think people were tired of hearing from us at that point. So live and learn. So we'll circle back to that. I'll talk to you, Ms. Sibring, and after I talk to Key. But if you want to start those initial conversations just to get a feel for how comfortable people would be doing something like that. The other thing about a book fair, if it was in a mod, we never let parents in the school to shop for books during the school day. As far as I know, like last year, that was a thing. They were like, no, parents don't come in, just the students and the teachers. It was also like way back in the school. So like you would really have to know the school to like find the room. But if we were to do it in the mods, we could even have parents or grandparents come after hours if they wanted. We limit the amount of people in the mod at the time. But then people could come and buy books with their students too. Or if you're online and want to come in and, you know, I'm only like 7 minutes from the school, so I could go in with my sons and buy books. So that's like another thing. So it's not like there aren't people coming into the actual school, you know, they would just be going into the mod. So you're not bringing anything into the school. That was like last time what I was thinking too. So again, not easy. one day things are going to be easy for us and we're going to be like, what? What's wrong? What's going to go wrong? Because nothing's that easy. So we'll talk that through. We'll figure something out, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So looking forward. So the last little bit here. March, we have the book fair. The other thing that we've had in the past for March is the butterfly ball. We were thinking about this year calling it something different, just some sort of dance, or I don't know. Butterfly ball also always seemed to sort of be about like the girls, and I had so much fun when I took my son. So we wanted to make sure it was more, I don't know, sort of more inclusive, so boys and girls could all come and not feel weird though they were going to the butterfly ball. But that happens in March, and I'm not saying this would be an in-person event at all, but this is something that we could do like a virtual kind of fun thing to figure out. So I'm throwing that out there. If anyone's interested in that, if they think it's a good idea, if you would want to help plan something like that, you hit us up, cornerstoneacademypto@gmail.com, and we would love to talk to you about that. Okay. Sorry, I can't read and do two things at once. And then we're going to need to budget and plan for next school year, which we have no idea what that's going to be like either. So we'll get on that. We do have a budget for this year, but it kind of ended up not making sense when the pandemic hit. So we shall see. April, we are going to post the board positions. We'll put out the nomination forms. We still have the VP position open currently, and a couple members at large, I think, are the other two that we need. We have the communications person, but that would be the last thing I would want to fill because I'm doing all of that currently. That's what my degrees are in. It's not actually that hard for me, so I kind of like doing that. So, but we'll put those out coming in April. We'll finalize budget and planning in April. I did talk to Mr. Leone the other day because I realized that testing was going to come up soon. And we do water and mints for testing. We did that a month or two ago for the smaller amount of tests. I have the third grade testing. I don't remember. But he did confirm that there will be testing and it will be the whole school. So we're just going to plan on, I'll get in touch with Miss Wolf and she'll give me the numbers or whatever for what we need there. But we usually get the water for the kids to drink and the mints to help them focus. And then kindergarten graduation. We didn't do anything last year because everything was a hot mess, as you all know, because of a pandemic that started. The school, we used to do t-shirts and would give money for kindergarten graduation. That's something that I'd never had a part in, so I don't really know that much about it. Last year, the teachers and the admin staff, I think, and Nurse Krista did a little bit of a kindergarten. They did a drive-through kindergarten graduation thing. So I don't know if that's something that we need to be a part of, or if that's something that we should take the lead on. Just something to think about going forward. And then May, Teacher Appreciation Week. Things to think about are just like how we're going to do that, how we're going to do it in our budget, and how we can include all teachers. That was a really hard thing about doing an end of semester gift. All the teachers that were online had to come to the school to get their stuff because we can't send it to, I mean, we could send it to them, but not everyone wants their, everyone to have their home address or anything like that. So the teachers have to come in. So providing food for the teachers in school, we could do that, but then we have to plan how to do that safely. And then we'd have to figure out how to get the other teachers food as well. And that becomes a really big expense, like really fast, just for the amount of teachers that we have, teachers and staff. I think it was like 75 or something like that. That's a lot of money that we're not really making and to put just into teacher appreciation. So again, any and all ideas for teacher appreciation. We do want to show our appreciation because I listened to my son's kindergarten teacher. Bless her heart. These kids, like, they deserve some appreciation. I get it. Like, you know, parents were working hard too, but whew, online kindergarten teachers, the medals, they need medals or something. They have halos. So any ideas anybody has, I don't care. Send them my way so we can, like, at least get a heads up and start thinking about this and kind of planning what we can do, because we want to make sure our teachers know that we appreciate them. We do that the best that we can. And then May, there's also a field day. I don't know how that would happen. Outside is clearly much safer than kids being inside. But again, that's just something else that we've done in the past that we can think about, and the school can let us know if that's something that they would like to happen. It can be on a smaller scale than previous years. It could just be a few little fun things, but trying to bring a little bit of normalcy or something fun for the end of the school year too. So I think that's all of the things that we have. I always feel kind of weird because I talk like almost an hour straight about things, but those are the things that have been going on. I don't know, does anybody have any questions or anything else? I'm going to see over here. Ms. Durkin asked if there's a price difference between online access versus the physical copies of Scholastic News, and I do not think there is. I think that you get the physical copy and the online access, if I remember correctly. It's been a few months since I talked to them. I can look that up again, but I'm pretty sure I asked them. I don't know that they only have online access for teachers, not for students. So it's not like the teachers can send the students like the link to like look at the Scholastic newspapers or do stuff. They have to like share it basically if they're distance learning in their live session from their computer screen, because I think what they usually do, correct me if I'm wrong, the kids have the physical copies where they're writing and stuff. The teacher can project it on the screen and like go through it. So I don't think that there is a price difference in that. The other thing with Scholastic News, I know I'm a broken record here, but I can stop. If we're never going to get caught up in Scholastic News, in Scholastic dollars, then we can just certainly discuss catching up. We pay them the extra $3,500 in cash, because clearly that is also doable. That would at least catch us up. So then our next, hopefully next fall, we can have a normal book fair, and then the earnings for that should be able to be enough to carry us through the Scholastic News for the next year. So that's also certainly something that we can discuss. But we have been behind it with money, like they let us order the things without paying them, like we have to pay for them. And certainly before, they've always sent us the Scholastic News up front too. So that's something that maybe I can discuss once she's more caught up on like all the money things. But that's certainly something else that we can think about if it's going to be like a never ending cycle of trying to kind of get out of the hole there. But yeah. Okay.
So I just looked into it, and it's like a 35-cent difference per student, but they can do an online login supposedly.
For students?
Yeah, it seems like they can use like a learning platform. So I don't know if it's on Canvas, but maybe Google Classroom.
I wonder. I could call them again and ask, because when I talked to them, it was the beginning of the school year, honestly. And I mean, that was before the school year started. So I think they were still like, that might be something that they've come up with since the pandemic, you know, because it was like only a couple months in. That may have been something that they changed, because I asked, because I was like, do we really need to order? Like, because I was like, we can get all of them for the students if it was something digitally that they could get to.
This is what I'm looking at. So I just sent you the link. So I might be new. It says March 24, 2020, but they probably have updated it. But it looks like there's like a class code or password that they can put in.
Well, there are classes when we got that signed, when I signed up for those certain classes, I did it so like each grade could at least still have access. Like each grade could have access, and then the leaders of the grades could figure out how to do that. I'll read it out. I copied that so I can look into that, and I'll call them again and see if there was something that changed, because
I will share this link with you too. That's about putting it on Canvas. So Canvas is a pain, and getting anything to work on it can be a pain. So they might have, just in the wildness of trying to get everything set up, might have tried and it just wasn't working for them. So I know we've had that with a few of the like apps that can be used on Canvas. Sometimes we have to talk to tech a few times to get them to work.
I don't.
What's that?
Call them back. I mean, I called the Scholastic people. That's what I was talking to, and like maybe.
Well, it sounds like you were getting a bit of an attitude from whoever it was you were talking to. So,
Well, it's because I was taking our usual $6,000 to $7,000. Actually, I think it might be closer to 7,000 because we keep adding grades. But so we took closer to $7,000 to like $700. So I don't think they were happy with that. So maybe that was why they were like, no, you can't do that.
They might have, wanted to make it sound more limiting.
I'll look into that, because no, I know all the teachers were talking about how they liked those for all the things that they did. And there were a couple of teachers that liked some of the additional ones too, that we just couldn't do this year either. But
oh yeah, I love them. They're fun.
After I see how everything goes, like the science things, there's the little, I'm like, okay, I can see this now. I see like how it's like, all right, we'll do this week. This makes sense. So I was gonna say I have nothing better to do, but I will call them and figure that out, because no, if they can get that on Canvas, that would be perfect.
But it is like a 35-40 cent difference. Well, less 10% for shipping and handling. So slight difference, but.
And it like additional 30
for digital only is like $375, and digital and print is $417 plus 10% shipping and handling per student.
The Canvas, I'm gonna have to look and see what they were, because I asked, because I was like, if the teacher's already using it on their computer, which I knew they were, I figured that students would be able to like log in and look around, and they
Maybe.
were, oh, we don't do that.
It might be like not from the teacher's account, but if you get specifically the digital, I don't know. Who knows?
I'm gonna call them. No, I'm gonna call them, because that's really interesting. I'm really glad you brought that up, because I would have been like, no, I talked to them. That's what they said. All right, make sure you get both of those. Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention, though, because I appreciate that. If anyone knows anything about me, it's because I want help and I want you to make it easier on me. So if you know something I don't know, please tell me. I do not ever feel bad about not knowing things.
I can't help but research things, so.
All right. Well, you shouldn't say things like that, because then we're gonna try to.
That's how I used to be on the PTO board. My only other thing, my suggestion or my thought for the theme would be maybe like a Neverland theme.
Okay.
Because that could be fun and maybe could incorporate some outdoor activities that they could do with their family and things like that.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna see. I can't remember what they had. They had the jungle theme from last, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't.
Oh, for butterfly ball, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. That was my
you
thought.
know,
Gender neutral.
I wonder if there's a way, like maybe we just postpone butterfly ball from being March to move it to like a little bit warmer, and just make that, because then it might be able to be outside.
You could maybe get away with a couple of things on the front lawn.
Yeah. All right, say that again. What did you say your thing was? Because I was like,
Neverland.
yeah, all right. And it's because I have boys. So, and like my younger son loves rainbows. So I have nothing against the boys can like butterfly. I get it.
Yeah, but you want it to be accessible for everybody. Get more people involved.
And they can be different every year. That's just more fun.
Very true, very true.
All right. Anyone else? Ms. Durkin had all the questions. Okay. Our next meeting is Thursday, March 4th, also 7 p.m. We're going to continue Zoom. I think even next, whenever pandemic stuff is sort of done, I think we're going to continue Zoom. Maybe 1 or 2 in person. I just think it's a lot easier. We never have like a space in the school to do it. We're always sort of taking over other people's spaces. And Zoom allows you to cook dinner and listen along if you want to, and you don't have to leave your house. So I like the idea of everyone getting the information, how they can get it. And, you know, I think a lot of people would watch the Facebook Live to do that anyway. So I can sit in my house and mess with all of the technology instead of in the school. So I think that's all I have. If there are no other questions, move to adjourn. Just need a second.
Second.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I third.
I just like to dance around and look like an idiot on the internet. So, all right. So we'll see everyone Thursday, March 4th. I'll be in touch with other people, Miss S and Naya and everyone else that I said that we would need some stuff from. Do my research and get back to you, okay? Everyone have a great night.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.